Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. Today, my name is Kathy. I'm your host for today. We also have Josie as one of our co-hosts regularly on the show. Welcome, Josie. And today, though, we are welcoming Karen Daley. She's a medium and animal communicator. She has been both for quite some time now. So we'll be talking with her today, though, see how it came about and all that great stuff, and how she communicates with the animals. So which one was first, Karen? Was it the mediumship or the animal communication, or both?
It was the animal communication. When I was a child, I would talk with the animals. My parents thought I was going crazy, and so I decided not to tell them anymore.
Let them know.
Right. So they always would help. They always would reassure, and they had a lot to say. So I started with the animals first, and then when I was a teen, then that's when the people from spirit, I would start to communicate with them.
Yeah.
But I do both, but mostly the animal communication.
Now, are the animals always alive though when you speak with them, or the ones that's passed away too?
No, it's both. It could be those that are across to spirit, or the ones that are here living with us now.
Yeah.
And people, there's a lot of different reasons why people will contact me. It can be, is my critter ready to cross to spirit? I got a new dog, and my prior dog, the first dog, is acting out and acting up. So a lot of times it's for behavior issues. And I have to say, most of the time when it's a behavior issue, it's usually something that we're forgetting, the human is forgetting or not doing. So a lot of times people will say to me, "Oh, you always stick up for the critter." and I say, well, usually the critter's right. So including myself with my own dog, who's going to be 15 in a few days. Wow. So
good for him.
She still has a lot of information to tell me, and she sets me straight when I need to be.
She's a very lucky dog that she has someone that will listen to her.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, she has said at times, "You talk to everybody else, you need to talk to me more."
Oh.
Mom. So I'm like, okay.
We always forget about the people closest to us, though, don't we? Or the ones closest to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's, especially now she's getting old, I got to make sure that I keep in close touch to what she needs, what she doesn't want. Well, that I usually know because she shows
Her
me.
behavior tells you, yeah.
She shows me quite clearly. But so
What kind of dog is she?
I rescued her from the Forever Paws Animal Shelter. They said that she was a rough-coated Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, you got a bundle of energy.
Yeah, yeah. She's a wonderful dog. She really is. I got her when she was 4. Like I said, she's almost 15.
Yeah,
So
it's a long time.
she's not long enough.
No, definitely
I
not
always
like
say
us.
not long enough, but yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever communicated with birds?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it can be any critter. It can be wild or domesticated.
Oh, okay.
I've communicated with fish, and I'm trying to think what are some of the unusual ones. Fish, snakes, gerbils, guinea pigs.
So it's not just cats and dogs, though, for sure, then.
No.
Any sea mammals?
So some sea mammals I've talked to whales, I've talked to dolphins.
Nice.
And the communication is the same, but they have different information for us usually. With the wild critters, it's more kind of global information,
Okay.
things that can help the environment and that kind
Yeah.
of. Whereas our
They're very conscious of that.
they are. They really are.
Yeah, they live it literally.
They
yeah.
are living it, you're right.
Yeah.
So, the way to communicate is the same, but their information is different.
Yeah.
With our domesticated critters, it's, usually what they need or things that they can suggest to us to help us.
Do you hear a voice or a thought crosses your
It
mind?
varies. I feel things. I am shown different things. I hear different things. I always ask the critter if the critter's in pain. A lot of readings I do are for people whose critters are in pain and they're not sure where. And so I ask the critter to please give me a twinge of what they're feeling.
Uh-huh.
So, because I don't want the full
Right.
feeling of their
Yeah.
discomfort, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's quite uncomfortable. So in that way, I can work along with the person's vet and anybody else that they're working with. You know, sometimes they work with a vet and a holistic vet to, you know, to help get the critter feeling better.
Yeah.
Now, I have a few cats and a dog. So one of my cats, though, she tends to be by herself. She's 8. I'm not sure if that matters, but and she always gets very defensive when the other cats try to go next to her. Usually, what do they usually tell you though in that kind of a situation?
Isn't she little though?
Yeah, she's smaller than the other ones. Yeah.
I mean, it can be so many different reasons. It can be, you know, was she there first? Just their personalities. I mean, we all have different personalities. I have 3 children. They are all different personalities. It can be whatever they've been through in their past lives. It can be the size. It can be the energy of the other critters. It really can be a lot of different reasons why she's, you know, why she acts like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's safe. So all the cats are safe, though, and the dog. But so that's not even a thing. But
Good.
I always wondered about that, though, and I never thought to ask you about it, though, even though I've known you for a while.
Yes.
But
Yeah, you know, I'd have to link in with her and see exactly what it was. And it may be could be a couple of different things. You know, sometimes as critters get older, like my dog, she's about 90% deaf. So, you know, could it be that she's, you know, lost a little of her hearing and all of a sudden they're not, she can't hear them coming. It could be so many different reasons.
Yeah.
so not just
That
like one
could
or
be
two things,
scary.
Right. Yeah, it would be, or how she's interpreting their behavior too,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I know. My dog seems to be developing cataracts a little faster than I thought. So
That's too
she
bad.
sees movement and is a little bit frightened by it. You know, if I pick my hands up, I have to go slow.
Right. I had a dog years ago that went blind in both eyes overnight,
Oh,
and I think she was about 9 or so. And I communicated with her because I was very upset, and she was happy. She was still happy. She knew her way around the house,
Yeah.
and she did fine. So
Yeah.
you know, she lived her life like she still had her sight.
a vet told me that for some it's a shock, but if you give them about 3 months, they adapt to it.
Yeah.
They learn where everything is, and they'll tell off the other dogs if they get picked
Too
on.
close, yeah. Well, luckily she had, you know, I'd had her since she was a puppy, so she knew her way, you know,
Where everything was
around
in
the
the house,
house and
yeah.
where everything was, and I didn't move things around too much because they all had their favorite seats. So
Don't they all?
House, it sounds like then they get a lot of them
they
talking to
did,
you.
yeah, they make their wishes known for sure. And if I babysit my son's dogs, he has 2 dogs, so at the time that I used to babysit for them a lot, there'd be 4 dogs and myself on my couch.
Oh boy.
Are
Nobody
any of them big dogs?
Yes, 3 of them were.
Oh my goodness.
Abby was the only small one, but they all wanted to be there, and they all kind of fought for the spot. They'd run to the couch and jump on even before I got there sometimes.
My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you like talking to human souls over animal souls, though, or the other way around?
I like both. You know, I always, whoever comes to me, you know, in a reading, I do a lot of private readings, phone readings, and I do barn parties and house parties too. Other than that, I don't travel much because I'm a nurse too, so I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
But whoever the person wants to come, we can, you know, we always ask. You never know who's going to come. Sometimes they want their mother or their father to come, and someone else comes because they have a stronger message.
Yeah.
So I have to say I do mostly animal communication, but I do
Yeah,
whatever I'm asked to, you know, asked to do.
Interesting.
So in either way, it's very, you know, because it's critters that are here or critters that are in spirit. It's just so comforting for the critter to be able to talk, and for their mom or dad, you know, to be able to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that they're okay when, you know, when they've crossed a spirit.
Yeah.
Now, do you teach what you do?
Yes.
Okay. Do you do that remotely, though, or do you go to a place for that?
Right now I'm doing most of my classes on Zoom
Okay.
because that's what most of my clients want at this present time, and it's been working out well.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a school of animal communication with 3 different levels that I teach out of Women of Wisdom in Easton, and I love going there. It's a wonderful place, but like I said, most of my students right now want to do it on Zoom. They don't want to.
They're more comfortable that way.
They're more comfortable
Yeah.
because of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a website or a phone number that people can get hold of you?
Yes. Yep. So my business phone, and it's not a textable phone. Sometimes people say, well, I texted you and you didn't get back to me. So it's not a textable phone. It's 508-672-6710. That's the business line. And my website is www.animal.spirittalk.com. And I always say there's 2 T's, spirit and talk, because sometimes people only put one in and they can't get it.
Yeah.
And a client just told me today that she couldn't get onto the website. It's because we're redoing it, I'm assuming. I'll have to talk to my web guy tomorrow, but
Yeah.
I think it's because we're finally redoing it.
That could be it, yeah.
It's been 12 years, so it's
Yeah,
Oh, it's
time for an
fine.
update, yeah.
yeah, it needs an update.
Yeah.
So if you can't get to the website, you can always call.
Yeah. Well, modern conveniences are great.
Yes.
You know, they blend in beautifully with the spirit communication because it's all about love.
Absolutely.
And love can go anywhere.
Yes. You know, I always say that, I teach that, you know, this is all about love and healing.
Yeah.
That's what all of this is about, love and healing. No fear, nothing to be afraid of.
And opportunities for growth.
Absolutely.
That's a horrible, horrible thing to learn, like, I planned these things.
Yeah, we forget that we do, that we choose what we go to, yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't remember things, and it's amazing, really.
Yeah.
You need a big sense of humor.
Right.
But the animals help you with that.
Oh, they absolutely do.
They,
Like my
they can be
dog.
clowns.
My dog can be so funny, and she's an elderly dog now, but, play is not optional, and that's fine, because I need to play more, too. She always reminds me of that.
Jack Russells never get old. I had one.
You had one?
Yeah, I had one.
Yeah.
And he started to slow down a little. He didn't jump as high when he
Yeah.
was 12. And when he was 15, he actually took naps.
Oh, at 15. An elderly dog, that's when they decide to take naps.
She's in my life mainly to help me to remember to play.
Yeah.
There are different reasons why our critters come into our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. So, I had a horse for almost 20 years. My horse's name was Doc, and I lost him last year to spirit. And, he was such a teacher. He was such a teacher. He was my boy, but he was my daughter's best friend. So he was in our lives, and, for a certain reason for me, a certain reason for my daughter. And, it was so important to him to do a good job. So, sometimes.
Well, I'm sure you reassured him that he was doing a good job.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so appreciative to my critters for everything that they do.
Yeah, they definitely teach us patience and to slow down.
What a blessing to be able to communicate with the animals.
Yeah.
I say things sometimes, but I don't think they're understanding me. Not even my bird. Sometimes I don't think she understood me.
How much do you think the animals actually understand us? Do you think they always do, or just sometimes?
I think they do most of the time. And, I'll suggest to people when I'm doing a reading, talk to them more. They love to hear us. They love to know what's going on. I've had critters say, let me know where you're going, when you're coming back. It just helps settle them. And one of them actually said, I'm not nosy. I want to know when Mom's coming home. So.
Yeah, they're like kids though, huh?
Yeah, it does reassure them. I mean, I communicate with them energetically or telepathically, but I still talk out loud to my dog as well.
I'm curious because I do this. Do you talk to your plants?
I do, and they usually get mad at me because I don't water them enough.
Oh.
But now I happen to have, the universe has sent me a lot of plants that don't need to be watered a lot, so.
Yeah.
That makes it easier for you, right?
Yes, and they're all thriving, so it's wonderful to see. And
So they're happy.
yes. And I do, I'll say, oh, you're looking so good, keep going and, keep growing. And it's wonderful. I mean, they're fascinating. Certain ones, you turn them and then they, by 6 hours later, they've turned themselves. And,
Oh, the sun,
yeah,
yeah.
they're fascinating.
Yeah.
Everything is energy.
Yeah. Well, even rocks can communicate,
And
but
they're trees.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
do
but
a-
it takes a special person to communicate with rocks
Yeah, well, I think if you
and crystals.
have the willingness and the trust, then, you can do a lot more than people that don't have that,
Yeah.
And, a lot of times people are fearful that when you start talking about things like this, because
Yeah.
they're afraid. But this, again, like we said before, it's all about love and healing.
Look what they did in Findhorn with plants and stuff. They coaxed them and praised them and nourished them. And it was a terrible environment. They had abundant crops and year in and year out.
Yeah.
It's because the plants want to please. They want to grow and they want to please you.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's actually different things with water. I can't think of the, I don't know if it's a Japanese gentleman or.
Emoto, I think.
Yes.
I can't remember his first name.
No, me either, but, I've done a lot of reading about that in the past, where just an example, they played, excuse me, like classical music near the certain, collections of water, and then, they froze them, and it showed what they looked like, and it was, nice and concentric circles and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And then they did the same thing with
Hard rock.
like hard rock and what do you call that? Like being heavy metal
Yeah.
kind of music.
Yeah.
And it showed like all jagged edges and all.
Oh, no.
It was really fascinating though to
Yeah.
show, how energy can affect things, not just
Yeah.
our critters and not just us, but
Well,
even our plants. And
They've tested spiders and things like that, and they make bizarre webs when you subject them to, jarring, unpleasant noises.
yeah.
And they've tested plants. Somebody had some mics on, some very delicate mics on, and he lit a lighter near a plant. He said, I wonder if the plant knows what I'm doing. And they heard little screams.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
They had
Yeah.
they had left some mics on. And so they said, wow. They're very sentient also.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish more people would, nowadays there are more people that are open to animal communication and mediumship and, hearing from their loved ones. And again, the more love we can spread around, the better things are going to be.
The way things are going, before we know it, we're going to have little ETs to try and get along with.
I don't rule anything out.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the animals though, do they get sad? They get sad like
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
All critters, as I call them, all critters, doesn't matter what they are, wild, domesticated, they feel everything that we feel.
Yeah.
They feel pain, they feel grief, they feel sadness, anger, absolutely. The difference between critters and humans, though, is that they all love unconditionally. Even when they've been abused, they still keep trying to get the person to come around, so to speak.
Yeah.
So the love that they have is truly unconditional. And yeah, I always say it's too bad we humans
We can't
don't.
learn from that. Yeah.
Yeah, can
Yeah.
learn from that. But they do, and that's important for people to remember that they feel everything that we do. So they need to be treated like your child or your mom
Yeah.
or your dad or
Yeah.
grandparents.
When I had my birds, I said, do you believe it? I chose to have a house full of toddlers all at the same time.
Even after human children have already grown up and moved out of the house, so.
Oh, I had one bird for 23 years, so
Wow.
that's a long time for a toddler.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is a long time. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I never forget that someone told me a long time ago that pets are like kids, but they just don't grow up. And there's absolute truth in that, But like in relation to us, though,
Yeah.
Right.
But they also are like teenagers sometimes,
Right.
throwing little hissy fits.
Well, again, it depends on their purpose in our life.
Yeah.
Like my dog, she, her job is to help me to remember to play, and she does that. She gets her toys out. I can hear her. She's in her little toy box in the living room, and she's searching for her favorite toy to bring to me to play with. And and when you're sad, like after my horse crossed a spirit, she was sad too because she missed him, but she saw how sad I was. And she actually, got a little upset because she was feeling like she wasn't doing a good job taking care of me
Yeah.
with him gone. So I went and got her, and I, kept saying, Mommy's sad because, Doc crossed a spirit, my horse. But thank God you're here.
Yeah.
And then
That
and I
seemed to
kept
help her.
telling her that, you're helping Mom so much. Because again, she was like, kind of like, wow, am I not doing a good job? And of
Yeah.
course, she is doing a good job.
Yeah.
So
They do take things personally.
they do. And if let's say you have a dog that's older, maybe 9 or 10 or something, and then you get a puppy. It's like having a new baby. A lot of times people will be, oh, so cute. And then they kind of forget a little about,
Yeah.
some people, forget about the dog that's already there or the
Yeah.
cat that's already there. And they get very sad with that,
Yeah.
just like a child would,
Yeah.
So it's always important to make sure that you include everybody and everything,
Yeah.
and not show favorites. It's like it's not good to have favorite child, obviously,
Yeah.
which some people do that. And same thing with, not having a favorite critter, because all of them have a certain purpose in our life, and one is not going to replace the other.
Right, yeah.
No.
Sometimes someone will get
But they get afraid that that's what's happening.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I almost had World War III on my lap with the dog over here on the chair and the cockatoo over here. And they had had a couple of weeks of my doing this and feeling very good about they're getting along with each other, and then both of them snapped and said, "That's it."
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I shrieked, and that stopped them from biting. I was afraid I was going to be the one that got bit.
Right,
Yeah, the
you're very-
crosshairs of that, yeah.
And when I got up, the dog fell off the arm of the chair.
Oh, gee.
Oh, no.
And the bird that was trying to get away from the dog.
They do definitely have jealousy, though.
Yes.
Again, they do feel everything that we do.
Yeah.
So again, it's important to give them equal attention.
Yeah, well, I was trying that.
Yeah, right. No, I know. But some people forget about that.
Yeah.
And again, sometimes the jealousy is so strong that
Yeah.
in that case, you really have to protect them
Yeah.
from each other,
Each other, yes.
Yeah.
especially when you're in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so we're actually coming to the end of the show. Very close, though. So how can people get a hold of you, though, to make an appointment?
So they can call me on my business phone, which is a landline. It's 508-672-6710. Or my website is www.spirittalk.com. There's 2 T's, spirit and talk.
Okay.
And you can call or email me, and we can arrange a time to chat and chat with your critters and see what's going on, what they need, what they want you to know. And when you think about it, they love to talk. Look at us. We talk whenever we want, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they don't get the opportunity too often to talk, so
Yeah.
most of them have a lot to say. and it's wonderful to hear what they have to say. So,
Now, how long have you been giving readings? I
Well,
know you've been doing it since you were a child.
yeah,
but-
gosh, I don't remember now. It's been so long. I mainly started off doing animal communication readings mostly. I can't even remember. Probably,
Probably a good 20, 30 years by now, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Time goes by so fast.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it? It really does. Yeah.
It does. But, and every reading is different. I always ask for help, from my guides to help me to help them.
Yeah.
What has it been the most interesting reading you've given someone? Can you pinpoint any one or two?
Oh. I remember one time a woman contacted me because her dog was acting up. And come to find out as we spoke, this one was an aha reading. I'll never forget it. And as we spoke, the reason why the dog was acting up was because the woman was being abused by her boyfriend who lived in the same house. And the dog was acting up because he wanted her to talk to me. We had talked before. And the information needed to come out that if she didn't leave, that she may no longer be here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked, but thankfully she
listened to that?
listened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that dog sacrificed himself to acting up to get her to call, and so that I would come out. It was really amazing. Really amazing. So you never know what you're going to hear. But know that you're there to do the reading
Yeah.
because you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
There's no knowing the depth of love that these animals give for us.
That's right. Unconditional. Always. Always.
And one thing I like about animals is they're very direct.
Yes.
They don't, occasionally they're neurotic, but they're very direct.
Yeah. Well, it's like every individual, some people are quiet, some people are a little hyper. Everybody is different, just like all critters are different too.
Yeah, because I see that with my pets though too. Though each one of them is so different from each other. It's
Yes.
incredible though how different they are.
Yeah. Even if they're brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know my tenant has 2 cats, and that I had given her because I was helping them be rehomed. Just the size, they're from the same litter. It's a boy and a girl from the same litter. The girl is so tiny.
Yeah.
She's like, maybe not even 8 pounds, and she's a full-grown cat. And the other one though looks just like he's twice as big as her,
Wow.
but he's a normal-sized cat.
Wow.
Yeah, they're from the same litter.
Yeah.
And that girl is so feisty. And I still hear her though. She's very, very vocal, and I
Yeah.
hear her sometimes if I have to go into the basement,
Right.
and I hear, I'm like, oh, Gypsy. I hear you.
Or
And then she gets quiet.
she may be defending herself or just,
Yeah,
throwing her weight around a little
could
bit,
be.
her little weight.
Yeah, she's very feisty though. Even when I had her for a little while, her and her brother for a little while, she just wanted she played rough. Like she was one of the bigger cats though. And I'm like, what is happening here? It's like you're a tiny little thing though. Why are you acting like this like lion though in comparison though? It's like,
Well, at one point in time, I had a Yorkie, a Can Terrier, and a Chocolate Lab, and the Yorkie was 4 pounds, and he was the boss.
oh, isn't that something?
Yeah, he was the boss.
Yeah.
And the others knew it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just so interesting though.
this was a lovely show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for
Very
having me
informative.
here.
Yeah, it's very interesting though to talk about this. I
Thank
think this is
you.
the first time we've had someone animal communicate on the show.
I think we had somebody that they didn't talk too much about it.
Oh, okay.
They had 2 or 3 things, and they didn't talk about
Oh,
the
okay.
animal communication.
Yeah. So I thought this was interesting though when I thought of you. I'm like, oh,
So everyone go home and hug your pets.
That's right.
absolutely.
And love them and appreciate them for all they do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, do you?